Key pound.
In a world,
Shut the hell up.
where Carolina Panthers fans
Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding.
have an insatiable thirst
I need to see a lot more of that shit going forward.
for Panthers news and opinions.
All my C3 brethren from the C3 Legion.
Only one podcast roars ferociously.
The longest running Panthers podcast on the internet.
It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, Greg, I owe y'all $100, man.
It was a thriller in Bank of America today as the Carolina Panthers fall by just 3 points, 30-27. The Panthers are now 3-8. The Kansas City Chiefs move to 10-1. But really, for a team that has been struggling throughout the season, but only getting better and better over the last couple of weeks, while this goes as a L in the wins and loss columns, was a real win for Carolina Panthers as a team. And a lot of not only the players, Bryce Young, big game for Bryce Young, continued improvement for him, but even some life in this defense that is continuing, I think, to be better each week. You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast. It's the post-game show. We're here after every game on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. And you can call into the show at 252-228-5098. I'm always here with my wheelman, Cody Lack. Man, Bryce Young really just getting better and better each week.
Listen, man, I am not going to sit up here in front of our currently 110 viewers and pretend to be sad. I am not. This is a W. They say there's no such thing as a moral victory. Bullshit, Tony Dunn. No one expected these Carolina Panthers to be tied in the final seconds of the game with the game on the line. This made our future, the vision for the future, so much more clear. It lets you know that even if you don't think Bryce is the certified future, you have now seen enough to want to build around him in year 3 in Carolina. Chuba Hubbard continues to be big time on plays when it matters. And man, this defense is filled with ups and downs. Terrible tackling throughout the linebacker core and in our defensive backfield. But on the plus side, we had a resounding 6 total sacks of the quarterback today. Listen, I love this performance. I love the heart. I love the gusto. But Tony Dunn, you know we're going to do this with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. It's ASMR, Bill Cravens, Blackfire, Brandon R., C-Dog in the building, Chris Patterson, David R., Demex 4L, Jorge Marcelo, Kristen Butler, Lance Kubiak, Making True Money, Panther Gal 73, Paul Mancini, and the boy White Chocolate Espresso. Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
The number's 252-228-5098. We'd love to get your thoughts on the Carolina Panthers' performance today. The defensive line making some hay today with 6 sacks. And Bryce Young going 21 for 35 with 263 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Chuba Hubbard with only 58 yards on the day. But the slow start where the Carolina Panthers move the football but have to settle for field goals, CK, in the early beginning of the game was really the story changed towards the end of the game where Carolina was able to move the ball on an 8-play drive to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So the offense found a way to get some business done today. CK, you got to be heartened by the continued fight that this Carolina team is putting up.
Yeah, dude. And I mean, I know there's a couple of, people in chat I might disagree with on a few things. We can absolutely talk bad about this defense. The defense was still and continues to be the weak link of this team, which is hysterical coming into this year compared to where we were last year. And so, I mean, I think that part, and then there's a lot of people who are calling that this loss is on coaching. If you're talking about defensive coaching, then I would agree with you on that. But this is probably the best coaching Dave Canales has had his entire time being the head coach this year. You cannot put any of this necessarily on him outside of the keeping Ivero as your defensive coordinator. Right now, that is our weakest link. And apart from 2 drives, and everyone wants to talk about and here's the thing, they did show up when they needed to show up, and I'll give them their flowers on that front. But they only were able to stop them on 2 drives. That's it. The fact that this wasn't a 45 point shellacking is hysterical, right? Like, it should have been way worse. And luckily they did, when they got down to the red zone, they were able to hold them up. We got some help from the refs with a couple of those drives as well. So, I mean, while Tony, I agree, I think you're seeing things improve a little bit on this defense. As a whole, they're still questionable.
Well, certainly this is not going to be considered a shutdown defense by any means, but this team, the defense did make it difficult for the Chiefs at times, whether they were able to score because there were 17 penalties or whatever it was. And they did in the last drive. There were 2 plays where I think the Chiefs converted on a 3rd down to a pass to, it was a 3rd down pass to DeAndre Hopkins, which a great play call by Andy Reid where Kelsey runs vertical and clears out space, and JC Horn's trying to get around. It's basically a natural pick type play that gives them a 3rd down conversion. And then the dagger with the giant run by Patrick Mahomes. That's just in some cases just hard to defend at the least. For me, the defense looks better than it has looked. Through the first 6 games, the Carolina Panthers looked atrocious. Through the last 3 games, the Panthers we found some things to wrap our hearts and minds and our future around. And I think that's on a couple of different players, whether it be Bryce Young, Chuba Hubbard. Today, Leggett with a big drop, kind of tough with that, right in the breadbasket. Could have helped Bryce Young's numbers. Let's go ahead and hit. Man, look at this.
Well, we have a bunch of super chats. Let's
get them up here.
Let's jump into the C3 family is feeling it today. Shout out to the Legion. Michael Reap with the $2 says, got nothing to be ashamed of. 27 on the champs. My sentiments exactly, Michael. We lost by Patrick Mahomes. White Chocolate Espresso says, I ain't even mad. Mahomes is kind of Mahomes. My sentiments exactly, Kevin. And shout out to Kev. Almost all of our sacks today. In fact, no, I believe all of them came from a South Carolina Gamecock. Ain't that some shit? Flames to watch with the $9.99 love bomb. Says too many drops from the wide receivers. Bryce played just as well as Mahomes. He's our guy. Plus, if we had JT, also such a dirty game. KC playing on defense. No ref help for KC this time. Love to see it. Thank you, Flames. Lance Kubiak, been a member for 26 months. Been here for years. Love C3. Keep pounding. And Matthew Brown with the $9.99 says, no matter what the result was going to be, the fact that we held the Super Bowl champions to a 3-point game with this baggage and duct tape like roster, that's a win for the franchise. Appreciate this big time. Thank you, Matthew. Let me ask y'all boys this. A lot of people are saying that this has been the best Bryce Young that we have seen in his entire career, and that today he's finally started to look like the number 1 overall pick. Tony, there's a legendary C3 story of you being on my porch, me asking you if we had a chance to win, and you said because of Cam Newton, you felt that we did. Well, today, Tony Dunn, I know I can say for myself, when the ball was in Bryce Young's hands, I felt good about it. I felt confident. I didn't immediately feel like we were getting ready to watch a bad play. We have done nothing but seen him continue to develop and get better, and I love that from him. And this is coming from someone who has very notably not been the biggest believer in Bryce. I don't know how you can't give Bryce Young his flowers today. What do y'all think?
I think you certainly have to. I mean, it would be weird if you didn't. Very happy for him as a player, and happy for the Carolina Panthers that there isn't just despair around the Bryce Young situation. You know, I heard something on the radio last week about John Elway being benched his rookie year for 4 games, and it was the best thing that happened to him.
Yeah,
Bryce Young to me, what we saw with Bryce Young at the beginning of this season was mental yips, a destroyed confidence in himself to where it was like, I can't play football. I can't do the right thing. And it wasn't a matter of him not being smart enough. It really was even a matter of a limited skill set. You were thinking that, maybe the height, these are just adding to some of the difficulties, but it really just seemed like a mental barrier or like a confidence problem. And what we've seen is after the benching and Bryce Young coming in and finding a little success and a little bit more each week, today I thought you saw him play with the confidence that he had in the past when he was coming out of college, maybe that he had early on as a player in the league, even though he was struggling. And Bryce Young made some great throws today, some great reads. There was only one time where I said, oh crap, I hope this isn't falling apart. And he held the ball. I think it was the end of a second quarter.
It was that sack, right?
He took a sack, and then we got backed up to like 20 yards. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Other than that, he did a ton of good things. Got a little, this is every now and then you need a little luck. And that's what Bryce Young has not had in the past, right? Yeah. Is that you throw the ball and you're kind of hoping for a jump ball play. You're hoping for something to happen, and it's always gone the wrong way. Today, he was being pressured. He gets crushed in the pocket, and he throws a lollipop prayer down the side, and I think it was David Moore who came down with it. But those types of things led to more opportunities. And CK, really, I think the story for Bryce Young's development in these last couple of games and today specifically is not going 3 and out.
No, like when it was third down, he was actually incredibly clutch. Like he actually did a crazy amount when they knew that the pass rush was coming for them. Like he was taking the hits. He was putting dimes out there. I agree. I don't think that I can point to one play where I felt like Bryce did the wrong thing. Right.
Other than that sack.
That sack. Right. Yeah. And even with that one, like throwing the ball to any receivers was a bad idea because they were all completely covered down the field. Right. So even when you look at the replays, it was a good decision to hold on to the ball. He just didn't do a great job of trying to evade the sack, which is what you really hope a guy like Bryce can do being his size. But the reality of what we saw today was even the things people are going to point to as mistakes were not mistakes. They were great, like throwing the ball out of bounds on a third down, right? There was nobody to throw the ball to, right? That sucks. I get it. But dude, his balls were on point, no pun intended. His deep throws were on the money every single time. Like we weren't seeing the overthrows we'd been seeing or the underthrows we'd been seeing. Like even that one to David Moore, that deep ball, and David Moore is like sitting there tracking it back, pedaling to get to it. If he had thrown that farther out, that's an interception by the safety there because you see the safety coming in from over top. And so he puts that ball in the most perfect spot it can possibly be for it to be a big play. The Leggett catch that was dropped, the Thielen pass interference, that was a dime on the run. That 40 yards he threw that. Have you seen Bryce Young throw a dart like that while off platform on the run at all? Like the dude looks like a different quarterback from what we've seen for the past year and a half.
It's mental. It's completely mental.
To add on to that, there are multiple times in this game where Bryce knew they were about to ream him, and he stood in there, planted his feet, knew that he was going to take the hit, and threw the ball accurately on the money down the field, went through his progressions. People have been saying, oh, this is the Alabama Bryce Young that we've been waiting to see. And I'll be damned if it didn't look the most like Alabama Bryce Young that we've seen yet on this team. Another thing I wanted to pinpoint real quick is that there really is a next man up mentality amongst this team right now. At one point, Brady Christensen was the center. He has to go to left tackle last week. Cade Mays comes in. But now you're seeing Jalen Coker. He wasn't able to go today. How about David Moore? Can we all give some love to David Moore today, who was far and away the number one wide receiver for Carolina. Clutch
6
hands.
catches for 81 yards and a touchdown. David Moore is one of those savvy veterans who's kind of stuck around the league and followed Canales, I think, from Seattle to Tampa. Not followed Canales, but been around Canales before.
Yeah.
And a player. We saw him. He's not exceptional, but he's a strong player, and pretty reliable overall. Next man up mentality, I think. Hell, Wanham coming in. And
Dude,
another
DJ
sack
Wanham
today.
has been awesome.
He was part of the issue on that big
33-yard,
yeah, because I guess overextend. I mean, I don't
Well,
know
it
if
was
you're
also
supposed to hold
everybody's
the
so
edge
afraid
for
to
a
hit
quarterback.
Mahomes.
It's also his second game back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
How about
saying?
this? Let's look at the life that a little bit of life injects to the C3 Panthers podcast. Boy, we've been grinding, and we appreciate y'all's support to all the people that are watching, smashing the thumbs up button and subscribing. But a lot of generosity tonight. Go through these super chats.
Yeah, man, dude. Flames watch with another 199. This is a career game against the top team. Huge. Stella Chastain says, hope all those red jersey mofos got to hear sweet Caroline. Pat the bank. We love
One love, wild CP for life.
Yeah, proud of our whole squad. Appreciate you, Stella. Lance Kubiak with the 999 says, I've talked to Jatavion Sanders before while he played at Texas. Great guy. Prayers up for him. It's just a stinger. Drops and penalties hurt today. Brady better than Icky. Dude, listen, let me tell you, I got sick to my stomach seeing that happen to Jatavion Sanders, because while they were bringing him out on the stretcher, to me, it almost looked like the trainer woman was like helping him put his hands up.
Yeah, I think they had him either.
Really
Yeah,
scary, man.
yeah. I think he had signaled that he wanted to, maybe to her,
Yeah,
or said something verbally.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that play and Jatavius Sanders in just a moment. And a lot of great comments in the chat and these super chats. Kelly Dwight Fields, $9.99 in honor of our leader, number 9, Bryce Young.
Love it. Old school Panther fan with the $5 says Bryce is finally looking like what he was billed as, confident and accelerate. Exchange one field goal for a touchdown, and this game could have been ours. You're not wrong, old school. That's why I'm loving this performance. I'm proud of them. To me, this does not feel like a loss. Yeah, there was a lot of missed tackles by our defense. We still need to continue to grow and get better in a lot of different areas. But part of the reason why I feel this is such a victory is because now the offseason goals are clear, just like they were last year. Last year, it was build around Bryce Young, and you went and did that. You added some more receivers. You went and got Lewis and Hunt. They've paid absolute dividends. Now you know that you have to build up this defense this next season through free agency and the draft. But even then, we've already saw some stuff that we know that we want to build on. We had 5 sacks today. Ishaun Robinson continues to prove himself to be a big part of this interior defensive line. Keep in mind, this is without Derek Brown. Jadeveon Clowney looked good. We have some pieces now. We have to continue to add to this defense and actually make this team the competitor for the division that we know it can be. And today confirmed what we needed to do. So I love it, man. I thought it was awesome.
Let's go ahead and jump into the calls. The number's 252-228-5098.
Let your voice be heard on the longest running Panthers podcast on the internet, baby. Let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Yo, what's going on, C3 Nation? Look, I don't give a fuck right now. We down only 4 points, 20-16. Look at Bryce fouled out there. Hey, prayers up for Sanders, bro. I hope he's okay. That's fucked up what happened. He landed directly on his head. Like I said, it's Mr. 704, keep pounding. I'm so hyped up right now. Look, I don't care if we lose this shit or not. I mean, I do, but I don't. But let me tell you something. 20-16, third quarter, 6 minutes and 26 seconds left. God damn, fellas. Keep pounding. Let's fucking win by 1 point. I already told my girlfriend, look, all I want for Christmas is goddamn to win by 1 point. And that's it. I swear to God. Y'all keep pounding. I love y'all boys. I'll see y'all. I'll check y'all's video. Y'all do some shit tonight.
Keep pounding, brother.
Appreciate the call. And it turns out that Patrick Mahomes was the Grinch that stole his Christmas by 1 point. Still a valiant effort by the Carolina Panthers. Jatavius Sanders from the chat I saw says has been discharged from the hospital. Really an interesting play if you take away the injury.
Yeah.
Right. Is that we're talking about a rookie player who I don't know if he showed a little, I guess, had some mental errors early in the season.
Right.
And he got that ball and he caught it on the sideline. Now there was limited time, right? Because I think it was at the end of the half.
It was. There's only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, we needed to make sure that you didn't go down. But he was looking for that first down marker like crazy. And then a scary moment where he gets hit kind of low, which you're going to have to go against him low because he's so damn big. Flips over and then lands like almost directly on his head as he's doing a tumble.
So that play could have been the best play of the game. And why I say that is we had 3 shots at the end zone because of that play. If he didn't get that first down, we would have only had one more shot really before, pulling Pinheiro out there to go for the field goal. And why that's important is had Tommy actually caught that ball, that was a great freaking ball.
Oh, another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I think that you would see a completely different outlook on that play. Like you're going to look at that and be like, it sucks that he went down, but he actually might have won the game with that one play, So I commend the dude for making that effort because, I think it would have been easy for him to just like not put that, that extra effort in there, just get to the sideline, and then let it go. Right. And instead we got an opportunity to try to get a touchdown. Didn't work out, which sucks, but it was, if we were a better executing team in the red zone today, then I think that's the type of player you want in your team who's going to fight for that extra yardage and get it.
Yeah. Great awareness, finding that first down marker. Sounds like the signs or the news coming out is positive of the type of injury or the degree of the injury. Always scary to see a guy go out on the stretcher.
It is, man. And it was literally it was right after that incredible catch too, which made it all the worse too, because it was like what a catch, what a throw. Sanders has been awesome. He's been one of the best parts of our team. And Tommy Tremble dropping passes today. So it's like, if he caught that touchdown pass, like Josh Wood says, this is probably a different ball game. So,
all right, let's get back to the calls. Here's G. Cavassier.
Yo, this is G. Cavassier, man. Damn, what a fucking game, man. In Kansas City,
let's go, G.
Damn field goal. The motherfuckers got lucky. They got lucky as fuck. Yo, Bryce played his fucking ass off today. He did. Bryce played his fucking ass off. And David Moore.
He did.
Crucial fucking catches, man. Crucial catches.
Yep.
And I'm going to say this right now. Our damn defense lost this damn game for us. Even though we sat Patrick fucking 5 times today, man. That front line was damn vicious. Was vicious. We should have won this fucking game, but oh well. But Kansas City, they barely fucking won. Everybody seen that shit, y'all. And I'm mad that we damn lost, but I'm not like pissed and shit like that. Because I had a feeling they weren't going to blow us out. The last time we played them, when we had Bridgewater, they didn't blow us out. Y'all know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is some bullshit, but hey, I am fucking happy of what I am seeing from goddamn Bryce, man.
Yeah.
I really am. That dude is proving me wrong, and I'm eating crow sandwiches with chicken wings with dip and a cold beer. But give me your thoughts on that, y'all. damn, my Panthers lost, man. Keep pounding.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I was wrong on what I thought would happen today. I thought the Chiefs were gonna come in here and just blow the Panthers out of the water because of coming off a loss on the road to Buffalo, kind of being, fired up from that. We know that the Chiefs offense has not been the dynamic offense that it has been in the past, but their defense has been very good this year. And the Carolina Panthers performed really impressively against the top defense. And to me, what was emblematic of that is, and really the driving force, while he wasn't that big of a priority today in Chuba Hubbard, the touchdown or I guess it was the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Their best player, Chris Jones, gets a big shot at him right at the goal line, and Chuba powers through it and gets into the end zone. Look, is the Panthers, this was a admirable performance, a commendable performance, and one that, while you guys call it a moral victory, I say it's a victory in the idea of the direction of the team, a victory in a sense of knowing more and more about Bryce Young and his future with the Carolina Panthers. And I was thinking here today, if this defense, and I know you guys are shitting on the defense, or a lot of people are, they held Patrick Mahomes to 269 yards passing. Now, it was 3 touchdowns, but they had like 20 opportunities in the red zone. It seemed like they got tired towards the end of the game. Like, it was starting to, like, the defense held up. They got a lot of penalties. J.C. Horn with like 3 PI penalties or holdings and things like this. But really, they were able to, no receiver, their top receiver had 66 yards. It was a tight end, 2 tight ends. I mean, I know this wasn't a great performance by the defense, but I think it was one that wasn't embarrassing. And while you did give up 30 points, I mean, I guess the points matters, is the red zone defense. They were just unable to hold up there. I'm sitting here going, after the last 3 weeks, is Ejiro Evero going to be on this, keep his job now? And I'm kind of wondering if he could.
I still say no. Say no. And I also think that you're probably going to see Canales pick somebody. Because remember, I think that they kept Ejiro Evero here in the name of continuity. Because you were going to have a lot of moving pieces. They kept Evero here. We kept a lot of the defensive pieces and players. And I think that they wanted to make it a more seamless transition for Canales coming in. Now that they have built the offense in his image, I'm going to be real. I think we're going to go back to a 4-3. Our inability to consistently stop the run has been a problem for a lot of years now. I think it's fair to blame Ejiro Evero. And listen, I have remained consistent on this. Greg called me out a few years ago when I was blaming all of our non-tackles on our coaches. But I've always had the mindset that when you continue to see something consistently from your players and they're consistently not wrapping up and not doing their job, well, then that's on the coaches. If it continues to be a problem, then they're not implementing a standard of wrapping up when we tackle. So I think it's fair to blame Ejiro Evero for that. But I know that Kevin said this before too. The amount of times that we would drop our primary pass rusher back on 3rd down into zone coverage is just embarrassing, man. I think it's stupid.
Especially an obvious passing 3rd down too.
Right. Obvious passing 3rd downs. There's no reason for it. I think that people are hip to what our defense does. Listen, it was a spirited performance, but I think for the sake of moving on and continuing to build the team the way he wants to, I think Canales is going to get a brand new defensive coordinator. And by the way, just a little
team overhaul.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, now Canales is starting to, well, he has come around on Bryce Young. When asked in the press conference if Bryce will be the starter going forward, his reply was absolutely. So Bryce has earned his way, and he will be the starter going forward.
Can I say something real quick about that? Like, does that not look like the most genius move that Bryce got benched, and then now all of a sudden Bryce is like playing really well? Like, even when you look at, even if you go back to his first game back, the Denver game, right? He has played very well for in comparison to what we saw from the very first 2 games of the season. Like, we're seeing a progression in him that actually is pretty impressive. And it really almost speaks to the reason Dave Canales was hired. It really puts onto paper what you're seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think today was the day that I'm ready to say Bryce looked good.
He looked the part.
Yeah,
he looked the part. He looked like the number 1 overall pick. And another.
I don't. Well, okay. I feel like that's he looked he looked like he could be the dude, like you're saying, the part. I like that. White chocolate espresso. The worst part of the XL drop was he was having a good game. That block downfield where he bullied the DB for 30 yards. They did come back to him right on the next play. He didn't get the first down, but kind of got deep, close. I think we ended up going for it on that 4th down. Somebody in the chat said, and think about this as we take the next call. Somebody in the chat said we need to talk about the play calling from Canales.
Yeah, we will.
I only have an issue with one of them, but
before you play the call too, I think some good context is, it's almost better to have the moral victory because as of right now, we have a better draft pick. So it's like we got everything that we wanted. We got a little bit better of a pick, and yet we got to see a lot of promise from Bryce Young and a lot of these offensive guys that we've been waiting to see some life from. So
we got that. If we get that W today, you're talking about the Panthers trying to win the division, though.
Yeah, I think people look at the Panthers in a completely different light if we win. I think there still will. I think you're going to see power rankings come out, and the Panthers are going to jump up, in a pretty significant way. Maybe significant is maybe overselling it a little bit, but I think I think that this division now is going to look at the Panthers and be like, oh, okay, maybe we shouldn't look past them anymore, because I think right now everybody who plays us has us down as a win, and I think at this point in time they would be mistaken in doing so.
Yeah, right. real quick. I know I keep stopping you. Only 3 teams have put up 25 plus points on the Kansas City Chiefs this year: Joe Burrow and the Bengals, Josh Allen and the Bills, and Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. Hey, Tony, cover me real quick. I'll be right back. Okay,
all right. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hey, man. What's up, fellas? Corey calling in. It's been a minute since my last call.
What's up, Corey?
I'm going to try to keep my thoughts all together, but game just ended, and I don't know how everybody's feeling. I know losses never feel great, especially when you kind of feel like you beat yourself, but I couldn't think of a better loss, honestly. Excuse me. If you're the Panthers, I mean, you get another loss, you get potentially a higher draft pick, and we go against the defending champions and look like a completely different team. Bryce is looking better and better each week. I mean, some of the throws he was making, some of the drops that we had were really frustrating, and then the penalties that I feel like knocked us out of touchdown contention a couple times in the red zone. We had to settle for field goals. Man, he looks really, really good. I think I'm not going to say he's done enough yet, but obviously if he keeps this up this year, we don't have to look at a quarterback at all this offseason. I wasn't thinking that we were. I don't think anybody in the draft is really going to be on our radar, but he is earning for sure another year and more opportunity to prove that he can be the guy long term. Tough day for J.C. Horn. We know who he is. DeAndre Hopkins is the reason why he can still, get open at his age. And he's never been like a fast guy or a super athletic guy. And but he has the tricks that seem to be getting J.C. Horn today. He was very handsy, a lot of penalties. Oh man, because I had never seen the Panthers pass rush look like this. So that's really something that they are going to have to figure out if they want to make another Super Bowl run. But honestly, man, the defense played as well as I expected them to against the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes still had a great day, had great numbers. There were opportunities there for us, but honestly, man, I really feel like we beat ourselves in a lot of the long scoring drives we had. Play calling worked really well. Like I said, Bryce was hitting people. yeah, can't be too mad today, man. Overall, real good day. I feel like we're in the right progression, man. We're on the right step forward. Let me know what y'all think, man. Keep on.
Yeah, I think brought up a lot of good points. JC Horn, kind of tough day. I think some of it's one or two of those. I mean, they're calling everything in some cases. I didn't see the first one. I don't think. One the one where he was on the slant where he was trying to get to the ball. I mean, maybe a hair early, but making a play on the ball. I don't know if you have to throw that play. If you're listening to a defensive player, they're saying that's a guy trying to make a play and you're getting penalized for it. But going to Bryce Young, I think that even if Bryce Young doesn't play tremendously well, or if the Panthers don't have a ton of success over the next 5 games or 6 games or whatever it is, I think that he's shown over the last 3 games enough to say that the quarterback doesn't need to be a priority, particularly in the draft. And maybe you are talking about keeping Andy Dalton around, and maybe Andy Dalton would be interested in sticking around as a guy who's familiar with the team, the coaching staff, and knowing that if Bryce Young were to get hurt or struggle, that the team would be willing to go to him as a starter. Introduce this little Carolina Panther fan.
All right. You tell everybody this Panthers fan, say smile. Say smile. You tell them to smile. Say smile.
Nope, I'm not smiling.
Say smile.
CK's daughter's on the screen.
Okay.
Say smile.
Say go Panthers.
Okay.
Say smile.
All right, so we're gonna. She ain't gonna say smile, brother, but we're
she was
smiling.
just doing it.
We're
while
smiling.
I was muted.
Yeah, we're smiling as the Carolina Panthers put up a good performance today in many ways. Tough. I mean, they still lost, and I know that people are saying a loss is a loss in some cases, but maybe our sadness has been, it's been so dreary that we'll take any signs of life. But I think there were a lot of signs of life or a lot of good things to build upon from this loss or this game, should we say. The number's 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
She got a little upset. Let him take her away.
From Hickory. Oh my God, it was a close one. I'm disappointed, but I'm not disheartened because we actually played a damn competitive game. I mean, I know everybody's probably pissy today after that one, but you know what? We did everything we could to win that game. That was a very, very well played game, very well coached game. I actually like Dave Canales' game plan going in and how we were going. But man, you know what? We, as the worst team in the league at one point, gave the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, a run for their money. Hey, I mean, can't ask for much more than that, boys. Can't ask for much more than that. We should not have been in this game. We should have gotten our asses blown out. Pause. But we didn't. We hung in there with them. Defense actually showed some life at the end of the game, making those stops, those sacks on Patrick Mahomes. They couldn't pick up the blitz, man. You know what? I'm disappointed we lost, but damn it, I'm very excited for our future. The future is bright in Carolina Panther football.
Yeah.
The future is very bright in Carolina Panther football. Bryce is showing me something, man. Bryce is showing me that he can actually play this game. You saw they sent the blitz at him a few times, and he handled it. I mean, he was actually very, very accurate. I think he was 100%, or at least close to it, against the blitz today. So, I mean, Bryce actually showed me something. I'm one of those people. I wanted C.J. Stroud. I wanted us to draft C.J. and was very, very disappointed, especially at the beginning of the year, how it started. But he's shown me something. He's shown a lot of growth. He's shown that he can actually play quarterback in this league, and I guess it's time for us to show Bryce his respect, man. I mean, hell, it came down to a field goal kick. That's what it came down to. They didn't blow us out. It wasn't, I mean, I was pretty scared when it was 27-9. I ain't gonna lie to you. But Bryce showed me something. We shown that we still got to work on things with as far as the defense to get that to that elite level of defense. But y'all just let me know your thoughts, man. Hey,
I'll tell you my
keep
thoughts right
pounding,
now.
boys. Another week. We didn't look terrible against them, so keep pounding.
Man, I'll tell you my thoughts right quick. So the things that are most take Bryce Young's stats out of the equation. Take all that stuff. I want to look at context, right? And the thing with Bryce that was the most appealing to me was what you see from Bryce going into the half, coming out of the half, and ending the game. Okay, because what I want you to realize that if you look at it from this perspective, you're going to think this is pretty impressive, right? Bryce Young had 40 seconds, 50 seconds when they got the ball back at the end of the second or end of the first half, right? He had 2 or 3 big time throws that got us down the field, and all of a sudden we're no longer do we just kneel it out? It was, we're going for the money right now. We're going for a touchdown. And that was the Jatavian Sanders drive or what have you. Coming out of the half, the first drive as we had deferred to the second half, we had a drive like I don't think I've seen the Panthers have in years. And that was one that took 8 or 9 minutes off of the clock. By the time the Chiefs got the ball back for the first time in the second half, it was pretty much the end of the third quarter. And that ended in a touchdown. And that was the most balanced play calling I've seen from Dave Canales, because it was 8 runs to 7 passes at one point, based on what the broadcast had said. And that ended in an impressive touchdown. And that was a mixture. I don't think it was a misfire. I don't think that Chuba looked incredible. Everything was working in tandem the way that it should be on offense. And then you go to the end of the half, end of the game. I said in one of the C3 chats, I said, somebody said, well, that's game. And we were down by 8. And I'm like, we're 1 touchdown away from tying this thing. And here we go. Bryce Young in the 2-minute drill gets down there, leaves a little bit too much time on the clock. But what else are you going to have happen? You're going to score, and you're going to score any way that the Chiefs are going to allow you to score. Right. And so he drives down, touchdown. And we get the 2-point conversion, off of again another defensive pass interference on this 2-point conversion that allowed Chuba to have a much easier 2-point conversion there. That is what's impressive to me. It's not whether he threw 300 yards. It's not whether he had 4 touchdowns. It's that when the game was on the line in multiple occasions, the dude showed up today against a powerhouse team, a powerhouse defense. And I don't know, man. I think if you're looking for a guy who had looked broken in the first part of the season to all of a sudden look like a completely, I was there at that last game he played against the Chargers. I was there and I saw Bryce Young, and the dude now is not the same dude. It is not. And I'm sorry. I know we can talk about his stats, not being over 200 yards the past 3 games or what have you. Even when you look at the games, the throws that he's making, he's not afraid to throw the ball down the field anymore. I think the dude, whatever was that mental block, it feels like it's somehow gone. And I'm hoping that maintains. But right now, the dude looks different. And I feel confident with the ball in his hands moving forward. I think without question, our number 1 priority needs to be defense in the offseason. 100%.
Certainly. Bryce Young has got rid of the yips. What it looks like to me. He's playing with confidence, and he was not playing with confidence before, and there could be a variety of reasons. A lot of people in the chat mentioning the Ike Ekwonu is the weakest part of the offensive line. And a lot of people calling for Brady Christensen to return to left tackle. Let's go back to the Coles.
Said the charismatic CK the tenacious Tony Dunn, and yes, the incomparable Cody Lack. What's going on, boys? This ain't nobody but your boy CP, the Vintage Retro Man, North Carolina's neighborhood.
I'm not hearing anything. I don't know if anybody else can hear anything. I can't hear anything.
Oh, sorry.
Let's get into
Sorry.
it, boys.
Hold on. I was trying to mute so I could
The
talk to my daughter and
charismatic
it muted the call.
CK, the tenacious Tony Dunn, and yes, the incomparable Cody Lack. What's going on, boys? This ain't nobody but your boy CP, the Vintage Retro Man, North Carolina's neighborhood hope dealer. First and foremost, man, it was great to hear Greg back last week, man. Greg, we love you, my bro. Man, welcome back. Also, man, prayers up for JT Sanders. JT Sanders in that game. Let's get into it, boys. What I thought there was a reality check. But it wasn't that Kansas City looked elite, though. I mean, we gave it to them to the very end. I'm proud of the fight of our team. I'm proud of the fight of the Carolina Panthers. Boys, I got to say that the play calling, the way that Chuba and Brooks that carries got neglected, though, that wasn't cool. Canales, man, he got to step up, man. This ain't Carson City High School no more. He's got to step up, man. But, you know, Bryce Young looked good out there. He's developing, y'all. He hung in there against an elite defense. We're talking about Spags, man.
What in the world is going
you know,
on
Bryce
with this call?
making good decisions,
I don't know.
man. You know, and
Sounds
he
like
got us
something's
down,
being
man.
zipped
He
or
put us in a
unzipped.
winnable position, man. I got to give it to the guy. You know what I'm saying? I've been the biggest Bryce critic, but, you know, I got to give it to him, man. So I think we need to ride with Bryce. You know, I think this upcoming draft, man, we need to invest heavily in our defense like we did the offense this year. But, you know, man, 30-27 against the defending Super Bowl champs. I mean, you got to look for the good, the hope. So, hey, boys, if all else fails, keep pounding.
Thanks for the call. Thanks for the continued hope. The play call I had a problem with, CK, was 3rd and 1 on the goal, like where the first down marker was, like we're on the goal line.
Yeah.
And he rolls out and we do a passing play. And you know it was a 4-down territory anyway. I just thought that running the ball there at the worst gets you a first down. And at the best gets you a touchdown. And then you could just, I don't know. I would have just run it on that down. That's the only thing I would have, like, that's the thing that's coming to my mind. I wasn't able to watch I was listening more to the first quarter than watching it. So we'll get to that. CK, I know you've got to run. So if you got to go, I can handle it.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Sorry, Chad, I got something to do at the Thanksgiving thing for my church. So I'm going to be hopping out. I'm just happy.
Here, we'll give you back the screen.
Yeah. I'm just happy that things happened the way that it did. You know, it's at one point in the third quarter, I was like, honestly, if we lose, I don't even care. Like, it's, you know, if anything, there's a win involved. As Cody had talked about, with us having the end of the game be, you know, the end of the season be a little bit better off from our draft pick or what have you. So we'll see. As you can hear, got a lot of things going crazy in the back end. So I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to dip out. You guys have a good one.
See you, CK.
Later, guys.
All right. We're getting back to the calls. The number's 252-228. You're listening to the C3 Panthers post-game show. Appreciate y'all's support. Go ahead and smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, be a part of the community.
Yeah, this is Kenneth Pickle. This is Panther Pickle. Listen, I'm just going to say this. I've been saying all along that Bryce is yet to prove he's an elite quarterback, yet to prove he's a franchise quarterback. After watching him in today's game against Kansas City, I don't know that I can't say he's not a franchise quarterback. I don't know that I can't say he's not an elite quarterback, because he damn sure looked like one today. Now, could some things have been different? Yes. But this game came down to one play, maybe, to a defensive play that wasn't made, to a few penalties that was done that shouldn't have been, to maybe a bad call, to maybe, just maybe, Sanders getting hurt
and Tommy Trimble not catching a pass. This game came down that close. And I know this is Kansas City, but we had 5 sacks. And shout out to Friday Free For All. Cody Lack, you know this. On Friday Free For All, everybody told me that we should be scared, that I should be scared of Chris Jones could do. I said I wasn't. I'm still not. Chris Jones did not prove to me nothing. The Friday Free For All before the Giants game, people told me that I should be scared of Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. I said I wasn't, and I proved I was right. People told me that I should be scared of what Chris Jones could do, and I wasn't. Why? Because I have faith in the interior of our offensive line. Now, the tackles, we could do some work on them, but the interior of our offensive line is solid. They should sign Cade Mays to a long-term contract and accept the fact that he's our franchise center. Keep pounding. I do believe we should have run the ball more. I strongly believe we should have run the ball more. Nobody's going to convince me of that. I keep pounding, y'all.
Keep pounding.
Thank you, Panther Pickle. Kev wants us to play this damn Jonah.
I'm afraid. I sorry. I'm afraid it's going to get us demonetized because it's probably from some famous pod. It's Jonah Hill talking about Martin Scorsese and what he did for his career. And yeah, dude, look, I
parallel here that Dave and
that Canales is the Scorsese to Bryce Young's Jonah Hill. You have to watch it. I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm just getting back. My family was leaving. Had to go say bye to some of them. But
right,
I
A
don't know.
lot of calls to get through, so let's keep going.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City.
What up, Chuck?
All I got to say is I'm more impressed with this game than any time through the year. I see progress. Analysis worth keeping. Bryce Young looks confident. He's gaining every week. The rookies we drafted this year look good. Hey, the defense putting pressure. We didn't win the game, but we took one of the best teams in the league and we played neck to neck with them. And when you just sit down and watch a game on Sunday and you're in it, it makes it worthwhile. So I got to say, I like the direction the team's heading. And, hey, let's just let things play out like they are. I just feel like we can go in every week now and have a chance, and that's all we can ask for. Keep pounding.
All right, one more quick call.
3 things that we needed in that game, and it would have been a blowout. 1, better tackling. 2, cut back on the trick plays. And 3, holding on to the football when it's thrown. Thank you. This is Kelly Fields.
Thank you, Kelly, for your call. The number's 252-228-5098. See, Anthony, we're getting through the calls as fast as we can. We got a lot of people in the hole still, so we'll get to it soon. Kev, if you want to tell us why that clip is meaningful here, you should call into the show and leave a message. Cody, because I love them, I'm going to play it, but I'm going to play it through my phone so we only get the audio.
Okay.
All right, let me see.
Then we have to shoot the scene that's not even really scripted. It's just literally like, hey, listen, I quit. It's like 1 or 2 lines. And I start doing it. And we do it again. We end up doing it like 20 times. He's not saying anything to me. And Leo's looking away, kind of like uncomfortable, you know? Obviously, we know something's not working because or else we would have moved on. We do it like 10 more times. And I'm freaking out. And he's like, all right, everyone, let's like take a break. And everyone leaves. And he's like, kid, come here, come sit with me. And we go to the monitors. And for about 20 minutes, he just reads the newspaper. And I just sit and stare at the wall. And I'm like, what the is going on? You know, after like 5 or 7 minutes of sitting in silence with him, I just like start to naturally relax. And then after like 20 minutes, he's like, kid, you want to try it again? I was like, yeah. Everyone comes back in. We do it 2 times. He's like, that was great. Let's go. He is such a genius on so many levels that is inexplainable, basically, you know? But he had to like
so
get
is
me out
Kev
of my...
saying that the last 4 games or the 4 games that whatever that Bryce was not playing was the 20 minutes of Jonah Hill staring at the wall?
I don't know. You have to. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the calls. The number's 252-228-5098.
What's up, guys? This is Chase from Anderson.
What up, Chase?
Good game. It was a good game. Exciting game. There's gonna be people calling in or in the chat rooms that's blaming this loss on Bryce. No, Bryce had him a damn good game. I think he had himself a damn good game. Man, the loss is on the secondary of this defense, man. Wide open receiver after wide open receiver, chunk plays after chunk plays all game long. Couldn't stop nothing, man. Kudos to the defensive line. I think they had their best game of the season, man. My towel of shame goes to Evero for the secondary scheme, cover scheme. You can't play zone defense against good quarterbacks, man. You can't do that, man. That's on Evero, man. I can't wait till his ass is gone. Fuck that guy. Dab on him goes to Bryce. Good damn game, Bryce, in the offense.
All right, I think this is the call everybody's been waiting for.
Hey.
Oh, fuck.
You know who the fuck it is. Booyaka. I'm fucking heartbroken. I'm so fucking broken right now, man. Y'all know who the fuck this is. It's G.
Don't be, bro. Be happy.
God damn, man. My dad's calling me right now. Leave me the fuck alone, nigga. Damn, bro. My dad's a Chiefs fan. Leave me the fuck alone. I'm so fucking broken right now. Oh my God. Bryce Young. Bryce fucking Young. I'm gonna say his name again. Bryce fucking Young. Let's jump into it. Vicky Ekwonu is not a left tackle. Vicky Ekwonu is the biggest problem with this offensive line. This offensive line ran way more smoother when fucking Brady Christensen was the left tackle. Vicky Ekwonu, man. J.C. Horn had an up and down game. Man, fuck all that. Let's talk about Bryce fucking Young. This is the last time I'm going to offer this fucking deal to a lot of you motherfuckers. Because I got a lot of bitch-ass niggas in my DMs right now. Haven't heard from them all day. Haven't heard from them all week, right? But now that these are Carolina Panthers, so-called Carolina Panther fans, and a lot of them that are in my DMs right now, a lot of you guys know. And they call themselves so-called Carolina Panther fans. We were at pick 8 before this. I assume we'll probably jump back into the top 5. So a lot of you bitches that wanted a high draft pick, well, you're probably going to get one.
Gee, be happy, bro.
Man, dude.
The quarterback looked good, though.
Hard out today. This defense is a fucking problem. Anyone that can't see the defense is the biggest problem of this team. Like, I don't know what else you need to fucking see. Because Bryce Young showed up possession after possession after possession, going head to head, toe to toe with fucking Patrick fucking Mahomes, bro. I'm in the tub right now, soaking away my motherfucking sorrow. So if y'all hear this water like this, I'm in the motherfucking tub because I'm fucking heartbroken.
Hey, bro, get out the tub,
Y'all know who
dog.
the fuck this is. I'll be calling back.
I didn't expect this call to go that way.
No,
I thought he was gonna be.
Hey, G
amped
baby,
as
you
fuck.
disappoint the shit out of me, bro. You disappoint the shit out of me. Bryce Young has the best performance that he's had in his entire career, and you're over there fucking moping, bro. Nobody
And he's been
thought.
the biggest.
Yeah,
Bryce
bro. Like, what are you
lover.
saying, dude? Listen, I know that they say
I thought he
there's
was
no
gonna
such
come
thing.
in bringing the heat.
Yeah, they say there's no such thing as a moral victory. Bullshit, dude. Nobody had the Panthers with the tie ball game at the very end of the game. Literally no one. Literally no one, dude. Like, if you were believing the Panthers would win, cool. You're a great fan. But no football people thought the Panthers stood a chance, and yet we were in the whole fucking game, and it was because of Bryce. Like, take your victory lap, bro. This was your moment, G. And instead, you're getting all wrinkly and pruned up in your bathtub, having a fucking bubble bath. Come on, bro. Have a smile. Your dad was probably calling you to tell you to keep your head up, that your sorry team actually looked good today against the defending Super Bowl champions, bro. Come on, bro. Get you some of that hope in you, dog.
Next call.
Yo, my C3 family, D, Sanford, North Carolina. Shout out to the great Tony Dunn, to the homie Cody Lack, the CK Code Dizzle. Still praying for Bat Daddy and everybody else who's going through in the C3 family. I'm highly excited. I'm highly thrilled. I was convinced going in we was gonna win, but you know how I am. Just to say about this game, like I was in the Legion Spaces, I feel like we were 4 to 5 plays from winning the game. Anybody that knows me from calling in a lot of times when the season's going in, the one point I'm going to be negative about is usually penalties. That's usually my biggest thing. And today that was still one of my biggest things, even though I think some of them penalties weren't penalties, potato at this point. Can't cry over spilled milk. I'm just happy that we fought. We were dogs. Bryce has really grown, and like we was talking about in training camp and off season, the record was not going to be the big thing. It was about being competitive, having competent offense, Bryce improving within the system and the team. Now look today. Look at how many times we got into the red zone. We might didn't capitalize into touchdowns, but we were moving the ball down the field. And I mean, Bryce looked like a 4 to 5 year vet for a second in certain parts of that game. Basically, family, like I said, we was in that genesis. We're still in it. Like Cody, I think, said earlier in the show, we can identify other weak spots. We know the defense is going to have to be handled next year. And for what Dan has done for the offense this year, I have nothing but faith that they're going to get this defense tooled right. Just shout out to all the dogs and the little pups that got to go out there and show some Panther football. And I'm hoping that this propels us and springboards us to knocking off some teams that people still are counting us out about, because we went round for round with the champs. And that's a beautiful thing. Did the Chiefs help us out a little bit? Maybe. Did the referees hurt us quite a bit? Maybe. But at the end of the day, second game out of both times we played the Chiefs recently that we've lost either by us missing a field goal or them winning the field goal at the end. We might really be the Chief killers. But either way, I love every single one of y'all.
All right, you're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app Underdog Fantasy to get in on daily fantasy sports, a way to make some money. And usually you could just go Chuba for the win higher. Today, I think he would have pushed. We talked about it on Tuesday. It was a push. You would have gotten the higher with Bryce Young. And I thought an easy lock lower was Jonathan Brooks. One touchdown, basically having to score a touchdown. Only had 2 carries today. So Underdog Fantasy is your place to play fantasy football, daily fantasy football sports. You can get up to $1,000 bonus deposit if you use the promo code C3. That's the promo code C3. C3P. Excuse me. C3P. You go there, make a couple of plays on higher or lower, you make some big money. There's profit boosts, there's discounts, there's free picks. Make sure you download the app today and use the code C3P to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Cody Lack.
Yes, sir. Must be 18 years of old. 18 years of age, 19 plus in Alabama, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, and in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8783, or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-New York or text HOPE New York to 467-369. Thank you to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring us throughout February, throughout the playoffs. It helps our podcast grow. Tony Dunn, what's next?
I think G Baby's coming back for another.
G baby. I want to give prayers and a shout out to JT Sanders, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know that's my motherfucking dog. He won't be just fine. He probably won't even be back next week, but hopefully he'll be back the week after that, man. I want to talk about Bryce fucking Young. A lot of these throws today were impeccable. Bryce Young played out of his motherfucking mind today.
I don't know if that's the right word.
Adam Thielen, thank God you back. Thank God you back, G. This defense is a fucking problem, and hopefully the coaching staff sees it and fixes this 3-4 shit because it's just not going to work. Bryce Young had so many a lot of drop balls. Did you guys notice that? When the ball was on the money, we had a lot of drop balls today. A ton of drop balls. Hopefully we can get that, fixed up. I mean, you just gave this big ass contract to the running back and he, is dropping balls and shit, so hopefully, the big money man can hold on to the fucking ball and catch it. So, you guys, I'm so mad we didn't beat these bitch ass niggas, man. Dude, fuck the fucking Chiefs. Bryce Young played. I don't want to hear anyone say Bryce Young played like the Alabama QB. Bryce Young's been playing like that shit, man. It's nice to see Canales finally trust the kid. I love a lot of the fucking Dave Canales play call is fucking pure fucking fire, G. When he gets going, when Dave Canales gets heated up and he starts calling these plays, brother, fire, G. Oh man, I didn't even say what's up, Cody. What's good with you, CK? What's good with my white Italian brother, man? We got to hop into it because this was a big game, and Bryce Young just put the fucking entire NFC South on notice, and I think he put the NFL on notice. This is definitely a rebuild, obviously. I don't know if we could still make it to the playoffs or even win the division, but we still have to continue to try and win games and build this fucking culture. That's the main thing, is to continue to get better and build the motherfucking culture. But, man, y'all know who the fuck this is, man. I'm very fucking pleased with what I've seen from Bryce, and a lot of you motherfuckers should be. I'm lending my hand out to you bitch-ass motherfuckers. Come join the train while you still can before you get left behind, because King Bryce and has risen up off the ashes, you motherfuckers. Oh, hell, King Bryce.
Oh, hell, King Bryce.
Way better call, G baby. You recovered well. That's a way better call.
Carolina Panthers fell today to the Kansas City Chiefs by just 3 points. 10-1 Chiefs team. I think we're 9-1, or they become 10-1. They were 9-1. Does that make them 10-1 after today? Maybe.
Yeah, they're 10-1.
A not a juggernaut Kansas City Chiefs team, but a Kansas City Chiefs team that still has Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and has won a lot of close games late down the stretch, right? They've had a lot of injuries. They've had to miss. I mean, they're doing what the Chiefs do. The Carolina Panthers hosted the Kansas City Chiefs today after them coming off a loss to the Buffalo Bills. A bye week did help the Carolina Panthers probably get a little healthy, gave Jadeveon Clowney a little extra gas in the tank. And I felt like the Carolina Panthers not only had an admirable performance, but I know there's a lot of hell being played on the defense. But through, I guess at the end of the second quarter, I guess that second touchdown made a difference. Now, while they couldn't keep them from scoring altogether, they did limit them to 2 field goals. They scored a touchdown on the opening drive. Then they had 2 field goals. The Carolina Panthers, however, were not able to reach the end zone until the third quarter. And that inability to score really is just going to be how you can't beat the Chiefs if you can't with field goals.
Yeah.
You can't beat good teams with field goals. Bryce Young played a great game today. I think this was the best game of his career to this point. Had a long drive at the end of the game, 2-minute drill, 80 yards, I think, or something like that. I mean, or at least a decent, long extended drive. We saw that last year against Atlanta in the win. But Bryce Young over the last year has lost his mental confidence. And I disagree with G Baby that he's been playing this way the entire time. He's been playing terrible, or he was before he was benched. I mean, now that was a 2-game sample set. But the benching of Bryce Young for, I guess, a 4-game stretch or so, let him catch his breath, regain some confidence. Now, did he come out in game 1, 2, and 3 all of a sudden and just dominate? No, but each week he's continued to gain confidence, continue to play better. And the Carolina Panthers as a team have gotten better. Dave Canales is getting better from week to week. I think even the defense is getting better from week to week, despite a lot of the inadequacies of that defense. Cody, I'll just leave it this before we go. Somebody had asked me to share my thoughts. Is that what felt like a continuous downward slide just a month ago has now turned into a story of, of climbing.
Yeah,
We're picking up, when you get down, you get back up.
Yeah, we're not sliding, we're
climbing now, and it felt like that eternal downward slide would never stop.
Yeah, keep climbing, baby. Just keep climbing. Like, I think that, listen, I believe you generally and genuinely have to give a lot of credit to how Dave Canales handled this whole situation. Because early on, we've been talking about it. It's been something of a story that Dave Canales has been really sort of hesitant to come out and say verbally that Bryce Young is the starter and we're going to commit to him going forward. And I have theorized that he has done that on purpose because it has made Bryce Young actually play with some fire underneath his ass. It made him feel like something was on the line, and now he is playing like his career was on the line. There were already rumors from Joe Person about how we might go and draft Cam Ward or sign Justin Fields. We've been talking about Daniel Jones, who Bovada had us the odds-on favorite to land Daniel Jones.
That would have made me vomit.
I know. These types of performances put that shit to bed. And it was Bryce's performance that made us do so. And now, because of that performance, you have Dave Canales essentially echoing those same exact sentiments about Bryce because he has earned them.
Are you at a point now where you take the week-to-week label off of Bryce and name on the starter?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to make any statements. He's making it for himself. He's continued to show us the progress we're looking for, bringing our skilled players to life. Xavier played the X position today, so just kudos to Xavier as well, just taking on a new role and finding some success there. A couple plays he'd love to have back, I'm sure. He'll be the first to tell you. But talking about Bryce, it's again, it's the coaching staff, it's his teammates. He's showing us, what he can do when he's out there.
So
showing us what he can do when he's out there, man. And that's, I really have to give Canales a ton of credit. Tony, I know you have too. I think that benching was the best thing that ever happened to Bryce. You even had Andy Reid in his post-press conference saying that the Panthers did a good thing going to get Bryce Young in 2023. So, dude, the tides have turned. Things are looking hopeful. We are not sliding anymore, Tony. We are climbing.
Next call.
What's up? This is Uncle Leroy. How you doing, Panther Theory?
Nice.
Man, I thought this was a good game, man. Bryce Young is it was looking like Alabama Bryce, not baby back bitch Bryce, And I like what we got going on. That Dane Jackson, that man is trash. That man is booty. That man is diarrhea. That man is cold shit, hot shit.
Jeez.
Get rid of him. I think we just need to work on everything in the draft, all defense. maybe get a speedy little receiver. Other than that, man, we got something going on, man. I like what we got, man. Like I said, we was looking at Alabama Bryce. But to the Carolina Three Stooges, man, hey man, I hope you guys have a great day. And that was a great game to watch today. All right. Elroy or Uncle Leroy, whoever you like to call me.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, brother. Be blessed.
Next call.
What's going on with everybody? This me, C-Dog 1983 TV.
C-Dog.
It was a great game today. I gotta say it again. I just gotta be honest. Bryce Young was motherfucking goddamn balling today. You know, this is like 3 games in a row. Bryce Young has been looking good. You know, I'm not gonna say he's the quarterback of the future, but man, Dave Canales has got Bryce Young playing the best he has been playing since he's been a Carolina Panther. You know, I can say that. Man, we just gotta get this defense together, man. If we get this defense together, man, we might be a problem next year. Man, Jalen Coker, got them Leggett, got them bring back Thielen. Man, we got them might have something, man. You know, got them Jatavion Sanders, we got a tight end. Shit, got them Brooks play today. You know, we just gotta tighten this defense up, man. We need a motherfucking pass rush going forward, especially next season. You know that, man. That probably should be our goddamn top pick, man. We need to get the goddamn the best edge rusher come out of goddamn college. You know, to get a top 10 draft pick. But whenever you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you subscribe to this great fucking content.
That's
C3 Podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast on YouTube. They go live every goddamn Tuesday and every goddamn Sunday, you know. And they got the game simulations as well and everything. And man, real quick, man, shout out to my man Greg too. He came back and everything, man. Shout out to Greg for coming back. And like I said again, man, I gotta give Bryce Young his flowers, man. He been playing good. Better, way better than he been playing. He was making some NFL throws today, you know, under pressure. You know, I mean, if we continue this for the rest of the season, we gotta see what we got going, you know. But he has been playing better, man. I just gotta be honest, you know. But whenever you come in here, make sure you hit this fucking like button. Make sure you subscribe to this great fucking content. The C3 podcast is the longest running Panthers podcast. You know what I'm saying? C-Dog 1983 TV out. Everybody have a great fucking week. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Keep motherfucking pounding.
Keep pounding. Tony, that's a big deal. Because if you've been a follower of our podcast for any length of time, and you know him from the free for all, or if you know him from the cat calls, he has been one of the biggest let's
Critics.
just say Bryce Young detractors.
Yeah,
we'll say, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that our man C-Dog can come in here and just keep it a buck and be like, man, Bryce played good today. Like, what else can you say? You really can't say anything else, man. Like, listen, I've sort of gained the this kind of view of me online that I hate Bryce. That I just think that he's, you know, is terrible and that I want him to fail. I have said multiple times I would take Bryce Young, making me eat every single one of my old takes rather than having to draft another quarterback and being the number 1 overall pick or not being in a position to draft the quarterback that you want. This is the preferred timeline, man. When Bryce plays well, we're going to give him his credit. When Bryce is fucking up mission receivers, we're going to call that too. Keeping it the truth, keeping the main thing. Bryce played well, and nobody on earth can take that away from him today. So shout out to BY9, man. He really needed this.
Next call.
Hey, guys. Well, I'm excited about Bryce's performance today and really the overall improvement of the team. You can look week to week. There's always improvement. It seems like the team is really coming together. I think Canales is doing a hell of a job with what he's got. And you consider where this team came from at this point last year. You go back just 1 year from, this week to this week last year. I think Canales has made a huge difference, and Morgan has helped obviously as well, but gets a hell of a lot more talent in. However, one thing I do fear, and I guess it's probably being a Panther fan, is what happens with this division after the offseason. Because a lot of times you'll see teams who say, oh, things are on the way up, they're on the way up. And there's something with the division. And it could be good or it could be bad. Currently, the only real team I've seen that's really standing out there is Tampa. I know Atlanta, everybody's excited about their skilled players, but Kirk Cousins is 37 and has that same injury that's really ending Aaron Rodgers' career. And then the Saints, who knows what quarterback they're going to have. I don't know why, but I got just this bad feeling, probably being a Panthers fan, to watch out the Falcons will end up moving Cousins to somebody who's desperate for a quarterback, maybe like the Jets or somebody, and then they'll end up, Michael Penix will be Mahomes, or New Orleans will draft Shador, and he'll be the next Watson or something. I know that's probably just, long-suffering Panther fan, just stuff to put out there that sometimes momentum year to year doesn't necessarily matter. Let's keep pounding and keep trying to hope, if nothing else.
Well, you can't control what the rest of the division does. You can only control your offseason agenda, plans, draft, free agency. And you're certainly right. It's just forward momentum does not mean forward momentum in the future. The Carolina Panthers, though, this past offseason have retooled their offensive line in a way that has changed the face of the team or changed the entire dynamic of what Panther fans are used to. So I think that the Carolina Panthers have the opportunity to build in a positive way going forward. And they'll just need to continue to make good decisions in the draft and free agency and go out there and play the game that they can play and hope that that's better than the other team. Let's go
Absolutely.
to the next.
By the way, from Mike K, Jatavion Sanders has been discharged from the hospital, and he has movement per Canales. So awesome news. Prayers up to JT. Hopefully he's back healthy real soon.
All right, next call.
And another thing, get rid of Fuller. He's soft. I like Damani Richardson better. Like these people that's missing tackles and shit, get rid of them. I think that's all I wanted to say. Like I said, be blessed.
All right, thank
Carolina
you.
3 stupid.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey, boys, it's Vegas Drew. Oh, God.
Vegas Drew,
that's what I've been looking for, hasn't it? It's good to see Bryce come out. And I've been one of those, like Cody, kind of a vocal. I'm not, people say Bryce hater, but I'll say Bryce not apologist. That was a good game. Honestly, that's about as good a game as you could have and not win. I think this one surpasses his Green Bay game from the previous year. This is his best he's ever looked, which is good. Now, I think he cemented himself probably as another year. They're not probably going to go out and, barring, I guess, him completely falling apart in the next few weeks, he'd probably beat our plan going forward next year, which is a positive. I think that's what I've been wanting. And Cody, we've been wanting all year, is for him to take ownership and look like that pick.
Yeah.
And then our defense, where I know everybody doesn't like Evero's system, it's looking decent. As I said all year preseason, everybody was like, oh, Dane Jackson, that dude just got embarrassed today. He missed the wide open tackles, gave up those 2 touchdowns to the tight end, and we got to get him out. I just let Smith Wade play. Like, let's get the rookies in that show promise from these veterans that show no promise are not producing. But keep pounding, boys. I am encouraged by our positioning. Like I said, I'm more impressed in this loss than I was in the 2 wins. But that is what we wanted. That's what I said last week, 2 weeks ago, is that, yeah, we had the win, but he didn't really look like a world beater. This was better. This one we should have had a win. Only thing I'd like to see him is to be more aggressive at the red zone, less overthrows or throwaways. But that's something you get into once you start developing consistency as an offense. All right, boys, keep on.
Thanks, Vegas Drew. Let's keep pounding.
Pounding.
This is Mickey Mouse. I thought today was a good day today. You know, and Bryce Young, one hell of a player. You know, you guys should come to Disney World and go to the Super Bowl next year. Thanks. Bye. Mickey.
What?
All right.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Gentlemen, tell me, what are your thoughts on this coach, Dave Canales, and the GM, Dan Morgan? Coach Canales, I thought he called a good game, a very good game, very creative and well done. And seeing the young players like that number 56, that linebacker, that rookie linebacker making plays for that wide receiver, David Moore, they got him. I think he was just a free agent signed, undrafted rookie, wherever he came from. But some of these rookies or young players or new players are making plays for us. And it's an indication that we have a good GM here, or he's been doing a good job with what he has to work with. So what are your thoughts about, if this jerk-off owner, Tepper loser, if he just stays out of it, just lets these two ride, what are your thoughts on the future about the GM and the coach? I think, we ought to give it a few years, see what happens. Although, in the first round, if a franchise quarterback is available, they ought to draft him. So what are your thoughts on coach, GM, future? Bye-bye.
I think that is regardless of what Dave Canales did this season, I think that he had to be more than a one-year coach. Unless, I couldn't see it being so bad that he would not get a second year. I think Dave Canales has done what he needed to, what we should be happy to see from him, and that is a first-time head coach, learning how to head coach throughout the season, calling the plays, and facing a lot of early adversity, and it not losing the team, not losing the locker room, not losing his focus, not being beaten, like many of us were 4 weeks into this season. I think Dan Morgan has done an exceptional job, or an adequate. How about that? Adequate at the very least. Repaired the offensive line, made some important draft picks that we think are going to pan out, and honestly had gambled a lot on the offensive side of the ball. But if the injuries wouldn't have been so problematic for the defense might not be as bad as it is. It was never supposed to be a juggernaut this year. So I feel like you've got a GM who has experience now at different organizations, who knows football enough that isn't just an outsider, and you got a young coach who's getting better each week. So
yeah, how about
the
this?
boys run?
Both of those two, Dan Morgan and Dave Canales, as the season went on, their decisions that they made looked better and better. So we were shitting all over the defense at one point, and then DJ Wanham comes back, and they're like, "Oh yeah, but that is why they signed that guy." Then you look at Michael Jackson, who's been, in my opinion, a serviceable and
he's been great. I would say he's great, man.
He's been good. They brought in Mike Jackson. Josie Jewell has some key takeaways at some key times, and another even better thing, we hit on some draft picks. Jatavion Sanders looks awesome. Xavier Legette had some drops. He still needs to clean that up. But the dude has a crazy amount of talent, and you can tell that he's still going to be getting better. You have Jalen Coker, who was signed as an undrafted free agent. Now it really looks like Dan Morgan is the guy for the job. He just needs another year to continue to add to this team and help make us a contender. And I think that we're at least moving in that direction. And that's the best thing to come from today. Like I said, boys, I don't know about y'all and everyone in the chat room. I'm celebrating this bitch like a W, bro.
Me too. I was watching this game like feeling great, dude.
I don't feel bad at all. We got to check every single box. Even though we didn't come up with the W, we have a better draft pick, and we got to see what we want from Bryce and the knowledge that we should be able to build around him. At least for year 3. That's what we wanted.
Gardner Minshew with an overthrow pick. What's new? All right, next call.
Hey guys, it's the girl that makes them howl, aka Joey the Blind Panther. That was a fun game. We lost, but damn, it was fun to watch. Except for it, it had everything in it. It had, unfortunately, JT Sanders getting carted off the field after having a really good game. That really did suck. That really sucked. Chuba did Chuba Hubbard things. Crossed 900 yards. Bryce Young continues to get better every week. Our defense did something, although I still think it's the weakest link on the team. Eddie Pinheiro, now the most accurate field goal kicker in NFL history. By the way, I still think that the Panthers were the better team. Not by much. I still think the Panthers were the better team on the field. I just think that the Chiefs had the more experienced coach. But
I wonder what he's watching in the background.
and there were some missed opportunities. Like XL had one that he should have. There was one that XL should have caught. Bryce threw perfectly. XL should have caught it. There were some dumbass penalties on us. That weird sequence of events where we were trying to go for 2, and then we didn't go for 2, and then we were gonna go for 2, and then we weren't gonna go for 2, and then we were, and then we didn't. It was just so freaking weird. It's like you got to do better than that. But even if we didn't win, this type of game is what we as Panthers fans need, because it's fun to watch the Panthers again. Yeah, we have work to do. But it's like we're playing on house money right now, and it's actually quite fun to watch if you're a Panther fan. Anyway, guys. Wow.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think I know that people say there's no such things as moral victories and stuff like this, but to me, this is what we wanted to see out of the Carolina Panthers this season. And if it would have been this from the beginning of the season, imagine if you would have had this week-to-week growth from season 1 to season 1, week 1 to week 10, where you continue to have more faith and confidence in Bryce Young. Imagine how fun of a season that would have been. Unfortunately, there was a 7-game stretch or so or 6-game stretch where you were wondering, and the Carolina Panthers were also wondering if Bryce Young could be the answer or could be even serviceable for the team going forward. Dave Canales with a gutsy move to bench him after week 2, and it helped him. And right now, I think we're back on the train of where I wanted this season to be before it even started. And that is, it's not about wins and losses, but about continued growth for the team, for Bryce Young and Dave Canales.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Anthony in Charlotte.
Anthony was there.
Yo, what's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte, man. Just got back from the game. I'm fucking wasted. But in my Patrick Mahomes voice, god damn it, we almost beat that fucking Kermit, man. Seriously though, Bryce Young, that was definitely one of the best games I've seen him play. It was either my fucking head. It was either that or the Green Bay game. The amount of insane throws he was making, the pressure was put on. Dave finally let him throw down the field. It's weird, man. It's such a love-hate relationship with him, because it's for the people calling him a bust, it's like he can't, he shows this game, and then it's just like,
on a random other week, it would be like, oh, well, he threw for 120 yards and didn't really do anything. So it's like, if we could just get this consistent Bryce Young, man, this version of him, this is a franchise quarterback. And there's always going to, and this team's in a rebuild. It's not like this is going to be the team we have forever. But, like, they could totally upgrade pieces. And, like, this is why, like, we're sitting at pick 5 right now. I don't want to take a quarterback. Like, dude, just let's see. There's 6 games left. This is the first game of that stretch that I told you about saving Bryce Young's career in Carolina. If the other 6 games Bryce Young has any semblance close to what today looked like, he's my starter next year. And as someone that went to this game, that was sitting with tons of Chiefs fans, but talking to Panthers fans, a lot of Panthers fans still believe in Bryce Young. So that's my opinion. Anyways, great experience seeing Patrick Mahomes. Fuck the rest, though. And
yeah, man, I came out with a fucking victory, man, but it doesn't matter. Carolina, I'll see you all in another 8 years.
but there was no Taylor Swift. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Anthony from Charlotte, keep motherfucking pounding, boys.
Keep pounding.
Debo Samuel was so nasty. And it's gonna get
Moving
called
up.
back on a penalty. Anyway,
No turnovers too. That's a great thing to mention. JD.
Story of the day, to be honest. I mean, that's when you're a team that isn't great, you can't have turnovers.
Yeah.
You can't have a ton of penalties. You can't have a ton of turnovers. There was a bunch of penalties in this game.
Yeah.
A lot on damn Kansas City.
Dude, so there's a couple things that we haven't really talked about, right? Ike Ekwonu, have we gone into that yet?
Not into it. A lot of people in the chat have brought it up or mentioned it, and I think I just offhand mentioned that the offensive line, the weakest part was Ike.
I think the thing that people tend to notice the most is that we'll be in the red zone, and he will have these boneheaded ass penalties that keep us moving backward, and people are tired of that shit. I don't even necessarily feel his performance was terrible, but it just seems like whenever Bryce Young is facing pressure, it's coming from the left, and he's having to roll out to his right to make a throw. And to me, I don't know. I still have a lot of questions about Ike Ekwonu at that position. Another thing I wanted to mention too was people were asking us about the amount of Kansas City Chiefs fans in Bank of America Stadium. That was never a surprise to me. Like, I knew that was going to happen.
It was red. It was red.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how loud the stadium still was, despite there were so many Kansas City fans there. The Panther fans that were there did get loud. I could hear them on the broadcast.
Well, listen, people hate this, but I'm here to tell you something, man. Even if the Panthers were above 500, dude, the Chiefs were still going to overrun that stadium, dude. They have one of the most fervent fan bases in football right now. But I will also maintain that once the Carolina Panthers have continued success, even games against blue blood teams like that, it's not going to be that bad, y'all. But everything happening in the stadium is a symptom of the times. When people can depend on the Carolina Panthers week in and week out, it'll be just like 2015 with Panthers fans all in that place. So, and the last thing I'll say, great comment by Claire. One of the disappointing things that happened today was having 4 trips to the red zone that ended in field goals. Had those been touchdowns, the Panthers would have beat the Chiefs 44-30. And that's a crazy perspective to look at this in, because the Panthers did have more opportunities to capitalize that we just didn't hit on. And it would have been an entirely different ball game.
Yeah, excellent point. All right, just 3 more calls to go.
Cool.
It's your boy, Jack the Snake F.U. too.
Hey.
I'm going to call it out Lowell, North Carolina. I think Bryce Young had the game of his career going his second year. As G-Baby would say, Bryce the truth, Young, I think he had the game of his career. I think he needed it. I think we are seeing so much development out of our rookies. I think we have a coaching staff. I mean, guys, I can't say it enough. I think we are seeing development out of our rookies, out of our players that we have not seen in years, man. I thank God for this coaching staff. I know we have gave them hell a lot, but I can't be disappointed with today. I know we lost, but we went against a team that has a top 5 offensive line, top 10 defense, and we hang in to the bitter end. They won by a field goal. And I can't be disappointed in that. But other than that, y'all, love C3. We're all about family. Keep pounding.
Thanks, Jake. Next call.
Hey guys, I think my mic was muted. So this is AU Link from Alabama. So
What's up, brother?
I've been a very pessimistic Bryce Young individual, as you guys know, on my free for all phone calls, numerous times talking with you guys. And
Yes, sir.
he played a fantastic game. Our defense played poor. Surprise, surprise. Not super poor. They sacked him 6 times, but missed tackles. And the defensive play calling was horrible. But Bryce Young did well. David Moore did great. Leggett had that one drop. He's a rookie. What do you expect? He's a late first-round pick. He's not like top of the first. Amazing, expect it. It's going to happen. It's going to cost games. It is what it is. He's a rookie. J.J. Sanders, I just heard that he got discharged from the hospital. I was all for him when we drafted him. All for him. So we'll see. But I do think everyone else on the calls that called in, we need another pure defensive draft. Maybe add a receiver just because of Thielens probably leaving. But we'll see. Catch you guys on the podcast and keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome
All right.
stuff.
Last call of the night.
What's up, C3? It's Kyle from Spartanburg, and damn, that was a good-ass game. What more can you ask for? The team's 9-1 you're going up against, touted as one of the best defenses in the NFL, and our offense kind of shreds them all day. In the first half, they probably could have ran Chuba the ball more. I think he only had 2 carries in the first half. But other than that, everyone played their part. Prayers up to JT Sanders. Hopefully he can get back out there within a couple weeks after he's all healed up. But, that was a great game. Hopefully now we can put all this drafting a quarterback and the draft crap behind us and really focus on this defense because in the Chiefs' first 6 possessions, they did not punt the ball once. So, you need to get some another defensive tackle, edge rusher, maybe another cornerback, just a couple more pieces on this defense. If our offense can just keep clicking for the rest of the year, we could have a good little chance next year to get 8-9 wins. Slow improvements will lead to great things. But I hope you all have a good show, and hopefully we can keep seeing some improvements every week. All right, see ya.
Thanks for the call.
See
Good stuff.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man, it's been a good day for the Carolina Panthers, I think, or I know it has been for me. The headline on the bottom line, or headline on ESPN right now is, or CBS Sports, is Chiefs escape Carolina with a win. And the Panthers went in there, played a tough game. Really proud. I'm not proud. I hate when people say I'm proud of you. Like, these motherfuckers give a shit about what I think. I am impressed by the fortitude. Dave Canales ran into a really difficult beginning to his head coaching career. It was a fucking dumpster fire to the point where you're like, we need to be rethinking. After week 2 or week 1, they were already rethinking what they were doing in training camp in the preseason.
Yeah.
These types of moments could propel these guys in a positive direction rather than continuing to spiral. The Carolina Panthers are no longer sliding, but are climbing. Cody Lack, let's do the final segments of the show. We'll give out our Game Ball or our Dab on 'em award, our AKA David Dotto award, and our Tala Shame award. I want to thank all the super chatters, all the C3 super fans, all the chatters, people in the chat, all the people listening. We really appreciate your time, your energy, your money, especially. It does really help. I can tell you that, as we're not the numbers have not been great over the last couple of years. We're trying to build. I tell you this is look at how the positive growth after just one positive day can help this podcast. You can help us by subscribing, hitting the thumbs up button, sharing the show with a friend, considering to donate, or just being part of the community. Cody Lack, you pick it. Dab on them. Tell us shame. Your call.
Let's shame some people first so that way we can end on a positive note, Tony Don.
I know that. I'm going to shame Xavier Legette.
Okay, that's a good one.
That big drop.
Yeah.
I'm ready for him to look, and I like him as a player. Don't worry. It's not like a negative. Just ready for him. Would it have been nice to have a coming out party for Xavier Legette and Bryce Young at the same day?
Yeah, that would have been dope, man.
You know, so that drop right there, I wish he would have held on to it.
And then he also said in an interview a week or two ago that he's going to have surgery on his hand in the offseason.
Oh, no.
On his hand, and that maybe that's even contributed to the amount of drops that he's had.
It might. That happened in week 2 or something, or 3, where he's having a good game.
Yeah, but he also said that it was an injury that went back to South Carolina that he had never gotten properly taken care of.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so but I agree with you, though. That should have been a catch, man. It was right in his chest. My towel of shame, believe it or not, is going to go to J.C. Horn. Because I feel like DeAndre Hopkins kind of got the best of him today. And really kind of worked him in a lot of different ways. And again, man, that's I'm sure there are better picks. There are players like Dan Jackson who played worse than J.C. Horn. But I don't know, man, like games like this is when you're supposed to show out. And I just feel like it didn't quite do that enough. So I'll say J.C. Horn.
Yep. All right.
All right. Let's dab on him.
I just like doing it, man. Dab on them folks. Dab on them folks. And that dab on them folks. They like seeing it. Tell me what to do. Dab on them folks.
This is our Player of Game Award, a.k.a. the Vidotto Award, Ball Out Award. I'm how can you not just say Bryce Young? That's my dab on him goes to Bryce Young. I mean, it would look silly for me not to say his name right now.
Yeah.
Or you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm also gonna give a dab on him to Dave Canales too.
Cool.
And keeping the team together, keeping this team moving, and not spiraling. Really impressed by it.
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of good ones that you could pick today. But I think one of the ones that is probably the most deserve. Well, okay, there's 2 of them today. So my runner-up, or my 1B rather, I'll say David Moore. David Moore was out there running routes, catching things in the end zone. David Moore was incredible today, and he was part of the reason for our offensive explosion on some real money downs as well. And then, yeah, the biggest dab on him goes to Bryce Young. Listen, he has proven to me that he is 100% the starter in 2025. Now, things can go very bad from here on out. But, Tony, after this performance today, I don't feel like there is an unwinnable game left on our schedule. And I mean any of them. Not any of our division opponents left. Not Philadelphia. Not the Cowboys. I really do think that we have the potential to win every game going forward. And it's because of what Bryce Young did today. If he can continue to build on this performance, I don't know, man. I might be looking at some of those old tweets of mine for a long time to come, which I will gladly do, by the way.
Yeah. I think D's Ill Skills has a great one. Cade, the franchise Maze. He's going against the best defensive tackle in the league, or they're or kind of mismatching against those guys. They're running stunts, they're doing different things. that interior line is so important, and it has really been a big improvement for this team. And interesting that the Carolina Panthers not only have improved it, but also have weathered some injuries through it. All right. That's the C3 Panthers post-game show brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. You got something to say, Cody? You look like
Well, yeah, before we got out of here, man, we had so I put a poll up in the chat that we've been letting accumulate this entire time. Did Bryce Young live up to the #1 overall pick today? The choices were absolutely built around him or not yet, need to see more. And with 319 votes at 67%, the fans say absolutely build around him. That's why there is such a thing as moral victories, Tony. Today was a victory.
Remember this Tuesday topic. Can we talk about Deontay Johnson fumbling the bag from going #1 receiver to a nobody on another team? All right, that's the C3 Panthers post-game show brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Don't forget to support the show. You can go to CarolinaCatChronicles.com, check the shop tab, hit the gear, buy yourself a couple of T-shirts or a coffee mug for Christmas. Cody Lack, take us out of here.
C3 Legion, keep pounding.